Part 1. They posted it upside down, and I'm actually not satisfied with it. Author, Lao He. Chapter 1. I owe no money, and the balance is 45,000. I am 19 years old and just one semester older. This state only appears in dreams. Li Yuan walked on the campus of Zhangzhou University. The hot sun was beating down on his body, and he didn't care at all. It was the sense of reality that he longed for. It's not a dream, it's really rebirth. It is now 2017, and he has gone from being a deadbeat for 10 years after graduating to almost the end of his freshman year. On Monday, June 8, the temperature was 36 degrees, the feeling was 42 degrees, and the wind was sunny and sunny. In my previous life, I was a famous dog licker. In 2016, I met Tong Sui, a senior student in the same major, and started the road of licking dogs. I wrote financial articles for Tong Sui and bought traffic for her on the short video platform. In 2018, I personally trained her into a female financial anchor with millions of fans. Then, I got tens of thousands of yuan in debt and a red exclamation mark on WeChat. In my junior year, I met a schoolgirl and fell into the dog-licking trap again. Later, I became a female colleague in the company and became a blind date. He fell deeper and deeper into the trap, inevitably falling into the dog-licking trap every time. There is no progress at work, and I live in a state of confusion. I joined a fund company and started doing odd jobs. As a result, 1 dozen for others is 12 bottles, while 1 dozen for him is 10 years. He was given a nickname. Replay the Immortal. In the end, because of his handsome appearance, he inevitably embarked on the path of being a plumber repairman. The phone system notification sound came over. Being a man with obsessive-compulsive disorder, he immediately took out his phone, glanced at the status bar above, and instantly locked the source of the message. Everyone has this talent. WeChat. After opening it, I saw that a pinned contact's profile picture was marked with a bright red 1. Tong Sui, Li Yuan, I have been busy with exams recently and have a lot of homework to review, so I won't go out to eat. Li Yuan took a look at the previous chat history, and it turned out that he, a stubborn bitch, had been dating Tong Sui for several days in a row. Yesterday, a financial article by Tong Sui went viral. It received a lot of traffic, gained thousands of fans, and was in a good mood. And just agreed to go out to eat together at noon today. Seeing that it was almost dinner time, Tong Sui made excuses not to come again. I really deserve to die. You are so handsome, and you are still in a university environment. Although your family background is average, it is not too bad, and you have been a licker for so many years. If you put your ability as a licking dog into improving yourself, why should you be reduced to that? When I was in my junior year, the schoolgirl from the art academy whom I licked was able to be escorted by me all the way to 3 million fans. No matter how bad I am, 1 million fans will be no problem, right? You are a millionaire internet celebrity, why do you still need to lick others? This is bullshit. He scolded himself for his previous life. After working as a handyman for 10 years, I was reborn and found that my previous life was simply a piece of dog-licking literature that was extremely sadistic. What a fool. So what if Tong Sui is beautiful? Finally, I moved up the circle and met a hot money boss worth hundreds of millions. What a piece of shit you are. After taking a look at the message from Tong Sui, he replied decisively, "Senior, you're right. I've been quite busy recently, and I have more than a dozen exams, so I don't have the energy to write the financial article. Please forgive me, senior. There is no point in blaming anyone, this is all caused by oneself. Just remember your stupid behavior. Instead of complaining about others, it is better to improve yourself." Dry. He came to the school gate and stopped a taxi. "Master, Go to Galaxy Securities on Lianhua Road. The taxi driver was a middle-aged man in his 40s. He glanced at Li Yuan and said, "Young man, as a young man, you should know that there is no difference between stock trading and gambling and drugs are not allowed at all." Li Yuan looked at the driver and said, "Master, your surname is Huang, right?" The driver was surprised, as if he had seen a ghost. "How do you know? It's blinding." The driver suddenly became interested and said, "Young man, you are very lucky." Li Yuan felt that this driver was quite interesting, so he smiled and said, "Yes, I think it would be a pity not to use this kind of luck for stock picking, so I am going to open an account at a securities company." The driver smiled and said, "To be honest, I was also a Lotus Road stock god back then, and my account capital once reached more than 3 million, but now, look at this hot day, everyone who wants to eat knows that they can't go to work at this time. Listen to my uncle's advice, if you have money for stock trading, isn't it better to eat and drink than to waste money?" Li Yuan smiled and said, "But I feel like I want to become a stock god. That's what I thought before I bought it, but after I bought it, I became a god of plague. What stocks do you want to buy? Let me show you." "Okay, you can help me control my eyes." Li Yuan saw the shadow of old Leek in this master, so he took out the flush interface on his mobile phone and gave him a look. After the driver saw it, he immediately shouted, "Hey, good guy, Zihai Construction? It has increased from 10 yuan to 23 yuan in 2 months. Young man, you must not touch this kind of ticket. It has only dropped to 17 yuan now, there are still some falls. Once you get in, you will become a receiver. Thinking of the year before last, I accidentally got into the Chinese magic car, and up to this time I am still paying off my debts. As someone who has been there, I still want to advise you." Okay, I won't go to Galaxy Securities. Take me to the Water Cube." The driver was confused again. Water Cube is the most luxurious healthcare place in Zhangzhou. It's only around 10 o'clock, and you're going to wash your feet. Are you going to take this path at such a young age? Li Yuan said with a smile, "This time is just right, the technician has just come to work and is the first to start. It seems quite reasonable. Young man, I see you have quite a lot of experience. Do you want a piece? May I treat you?" The driver hurriedly waved his hand and said, "I just hope that I can do some work when the weather is hot. I will talk to you about my experience next time when I have nothing to do. To be honest, I was also the emperor of bathing in the bathing industry back then. What kind of situation is there? I've been to, the Water Cube is really nice. Yeah, I'm quite discerning, come on, come on." Li Yuan pointed to a sign next to him and said. The driver slowly pulled over and parked. "Master, how much does it cost?" "Damn, it's just a few steps. You strayed into this road at a young age. There will be many opportunities to spend money in the future. I'm someone who has been here, forget these few dollars. You go quickly. If anyone wants to talk to you, I have the same idea, I'm afraid you won't be able to eat it." After saying that, he opened the car door and drove Li Yuan out of the car. He still felt a sense of accomplishment in his heart. He had persuaded a young man who had gone astray back, and he felt like a ray of light had shone on him. Although the young man turned around and jumped into another pit, compared to entering the stock market, foot washing and massage can be said to be the right way in the world. The car didn't drive very far, but after turning a corner, the big sign of Galaxy Securities appeared in his sight. He laughed. The securities company is located next to the bathing shop, this boss has good taste. At the same time, the sophomore girls' dormitory. Tong Sui sat on the bed and replied to some fans' comments. She received the message from Li Yuan half an hour ago, but she didn't read it immediately. You don't need to think about it to know that he must be begging you to meet him again. But apart from being handsome and good at writing financial articles, Li Yuan had nothing else to attract her. He's handsome but can't be eaten. The financial articles in this issue are about banks. This wave of information is so huge. This wave of information is so clear. It's been a long time since I've seen an anchor who is so approachable with his E. Really? Is the bank so big? No, is the bank so unreasonable? I don't believe in anyone else, I just believe in your theory. I didn't hear the content at all. Lick. What does it mean that the subtitles are blocked in front? Brothers are really here to learn knowledge. You can't trust brothers, right? When Tong Sui saw these ridicules, not only was she not angry, but she had a faint smile on her face. This is all traffic. Without Li Yuan's manuscript, she would be just a vase. After all, there is no shortage of beauties on the short video platform. But if you add the label of a financial anchor to yourself, the advantages of your figure will be infinitely magnified. Although she only has over 50,000 followers, she is already the most popular Douyin financial anchor with less than 10 videos. She is very confident in her figure and appearance. She also knows that with her ability, it is impossible to achieve class leap. The self-media era is the best opportunity. As long as she has many fans, sooner or later she can strike up a conversation with a real big shot and enter their circle. After almost replying, she switched to the WeChat interface. Before the information could be buffered, she already had a headache. How do you say no to that guy? After half an hour of drying, it should be almost done. Just control it and don't say unpleasant things. Those seniors can't write as high-quality manuscripts as he does. It's a pity that my family is too poor, so I have to search for investment traffic through Sosu. I can't ask him directly for hundreds of investment. At this time, WeChat messages have been buffered. When she saw the words from Li Yuan, her whole expression was stunned. She even thought she had seen it wrong. This guy doesn't write manuscripts for himself anymore? The dog-licking dog who has been stalking her for so long and delivering breakfast every morning and night can actually say such a thing? For a moment, she became angry. Because she always felt that she was giving Li Yuan a chance, otherwise how could she give those photos of herself to others so easily? So she replied directly, in this case, then don't write manuscripts for me in the future. After sending it out, she could already imagine Li Yuan licking the dog. I will definitely apologize to myself immediately, and then plead with myself not to be angry. After all, during her 2 years at school, she was hit on more times than she ate. Although the school didn't choose any school beauty, she knew that privately many boys regarded her as a school beauty. However, after waiting for 5 minutes, there was no reply from Li Yuan. She was anxious. I really can't find a better substitute at the moment. Li Yuan, a freshman, has a very clear understanding of the history of capital development and has his own unique insights. Those insights may be ridiculous to the big guys, but to ordinary people, they are simply unfathomable top theories. Even though her comment section is full of people watching football, in fact, what really makes her popular is the quality of her content. Otherwise, why would those marginal female anchors have thousands of fans each? Her account has only been in operation for less than a month. I had asked someone to write a financial article before, and I was still dressed the same way now. After half a year of work, I only had more than 1,000 followers. Therefore, Li Yuan is the basis for ensuring excellent quality. After watching videos for more than 10 minutes, I suddenly received a WeChat message. Before she could open it, another series of beeps sounded. I must have missed it just now, but now that I have seen it, I started to panic. She opened it slowly, and 2 seconds later, the WeChat message buffered out. Result: it's actually his roommates. Shuefei, what do you want to eat for lunch? Want to drink milk tea? Donbari or fried noodles? A newly opened window in the cafeteria is very popular. It sells barbecue rice, but you have to queue up. Tong Sui gritted her teeth and finally replied, "Bring me a donbari to go with the rice. I'll give you the money later." Before her roommate could reply, she exited the chat window. She saw what Li Yuan sent. Just 2 words. They posted it upside down, and I'm actually not satisfied with it. Author, Lao He. Chapter 2. Li Yuan was eager to end this evil relationship as soon as possible. Tong Sui actually took the initiative to send it to her door. It's a double happiness. Rebirth, cutting off evil fate, happened in one day. He had already opened an account with a securities company at this time. There are 2 reasons why I came to the business hall instead of doing it online. First, we must talk about the handling fee. Mosquito legs are also meat, so you can save whatever you can. The second is to open the gem authority. He also wanted to open financing, but unfortunately since the financing policy was tightened in 2015, it was not easy to obtain small funds like his, and the negotiation was not completed in the end. It's good to be able to get free of charge and open the gem in case of emergency. The online process is very long, and you have to get a contract, so it's not as simple as on-site processing. On the way back to the dormitory, you will pass by the cafeteria. He posted in the dormitory group, "I'm passing by the cafeteria soon. Who wants to bring food?" As a result, several messages followed immediately. "Chen Qi, father, you finally think of the child. Do you know how long the child has been waiting for this day? Gu Dongshen, if my adoptive father doesn't mind, please bring me a spicy hot pot." Shen knows the difficulty and is willing to take 2 beef balls as reward. "Ma Chenkai, brother, bring me some fried noodles." You, damn it, who are you taking advantage of? You can't even touch a single enoki mushroom in my spicy hot pot. Hurry up and call your adoptive father, otherwise you will automatically lose your meal benefits for the next 3 years. What the hell, aren't the 3 of us in the dormitory? Let's talk nonsense in the group. Nonsense, of course it's for my father Yuan to see. He works so hard to bring us food, but we can let him wait in line all alone? Playing a monkey to entertain Father Yuan. It's better to show a movie. That's my adoptive father, my dearest relative. Li Yuan didn't read the messages in the group. Because it is troublesome to pack spicy hot pot in the canteen, and you have to queue up. Otherwise, that bitch Gu Dongshen wouldn't take 2 beef balls as compensation. After all, a portion of spicy hot pot costs 30 yuan, and there are only 2 high-tech beef balls in it. After running to the cafeteria and standing in line, he had time to open the group chat. There is already a red envelope inside. "Daddy Yuan, take it away, I'll be beaten for the rest of my life by mistake." 3 red envelopes neatly. Li Yuan replied, "As a father, you are not that stingy. It is your duty to bring food to your children. I feel more and more that being a dog licker for a woman is really a sand dollar act. They are all calling me daddy. Is there any difference whether it is a man or a woman? Chen Qi, lick lick. Gu Dongshen, if I hadn't spent all my living expenses this month, I would have arranged a number 8 technician for my adoptive father. Isn't today the 7th? Yes, my dad will transfer my salary to me on the 7th, and I will use it to repay last month's expenses. Damn, as expected of you, you know how to leverage on your living expenses. But don't worry, adoptive father. When the child gets rich in the future, he will definitely build a bronze bird platform for his adoptive father." Li Yuan saw the lively chatting in the group and felt even deeper. If you buy Tong Sui a few hundred yuan of traffic, no one will even take a second look. Spending dozens of yuan to bring meals to a few people in the dormitory will have you covered for the rest of your life. Raising children for old age, don't deceive me. It was at this time that he had time to read the message from Tong Sui. Li Yuan, you said this yourself. Originally, I wanted to give you a chance recently, but forget it now. Li Yuan's heart trembled after seeing it. I thought to myself, don't give me a chance to tell me it's hot when I get closer, or I feel uncomfortable when I hold hands. Who can afford to offend me? If you really want to open a house one day, you still have to die where you are. Sophomore girls' dormitory. While Tong Sui was eating, she picked up her phone and took a look at it from time to time. Because after she said that, she deleted Li Yuan's WeChat friends. When they first met last year, she deleted Li Yuan's friends more than once. But every time, Li Yuan would quickly find out, and then shamelessly beg him to be added back. This is her trick for most licking dogs, and it works almost every time. After deleting friends a few times, those people will be willing to pay. No matter what holiday it is, gifts are always welcome. Although most of them are worthless. In her opinion, it was because she hadn't used this trick on Li Yuan for too long, and she was like a runaway horse, somewhat out of control. Now she was going to put a tight leash on the horse. It's just that more than an hour has passed, and there is still no verification message from Li Mu adding friends. She is getting more and more angry. Damn bastard, do you really think I care about you? If you can, just keep pretending. Let's see who can't pretend first. Angrily, he returned to bed and took a look at the number of fans he had gained. After the video was posted last night, it had nearly 2,000 followers until the morning, which was the highest increase during this period. But now the effect of that video has begun to decline. From 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. now, it has only gained less than 20 followers. As usual, Li Yuan will give her a manuscript tonight, and she will write it out in the dormitory tomorrow morning to ensure that she has continuous content output and more fans. As a result, Li Yuan stopped exporting to her. After finishing his meal, Li Yuan went directly back to his upper bunk. As the exam month approaches, dormitories are very busy, especially as some online classes have not been completed yet, just like reminders. Those online courses still require regular attendance, and you have to complete them no matter what, otherwise you will fail the course directly. I am lazy and do nothing on weekdays, but I burst into tears near the end of the term. He opened the securities client on his computer. Sci-fi Construction, the #1 stock this year, has soared 229% for the year as of April 30th. It pulled back 32 points in May. It opened today with a huge amount and is approaching the limit. He also opened the screen recording software. Tong Sui is on the right path. If ordinary people want to transcend social classes, they must have fans and believers. Once you have a believer, no matter what you do, you can guarantee that you will not starve to death. He recorded the screen and started trading. In the first transaction, he was very confident because his butterfly effect had not yet started. But as soon as he bought it this time, some subtle changes began to ferment. Only those big market trends driven by funds will not be greatly affected. Any subsequent stock may be affected. In the next 2 years, there was no big market. So even if he has been a sweeper for 10 years, he estimates that through his own butterfly effect, the information he has will become less and less useful after 1 or 2 years. And if you accumulate fans, you will be able to use them throughout your life. Buy, Sci-fi Construction. Holding cost, 16.57. Number of shares held, 2,700 shares. Balance, 257. Floating profit and loss, minus 4.000%. At the same time, he opened his Douyin account. There are only 3 fans on the account. At first glance, it seems that those adult uncles and aunts are following him unintentionally. He has not posted any photos, and it is even a private account. He registered the account because of Tong Sui. Every day after Tong Sui posted a video, he would immediately act as a passerby and praise Tong Sui's professionalism. Delete all the speech records on the account. These are all his dark history. Then he changed his ID from Fifei's little follower to Voyage by Stock. Introduction, 45,000 yuan into the market, target 10 million. The actual operation is updated at 3:30 every day. We do not recommend stocks, do not accept apprentices, and do not sell courses. It is only for communication. After finishing it, he sent the video he finished today. It was just after 1 o'clock. Then he ignored it. After all, he didn't expect to get any traffic fans in the past few days. The capital game in Zhai construction is very fierce. A total of more than 10 billion yuan was sold today, and it has been hovering near the limit. At this position, the bears have great power, and the bulls are finally beaten back after repeated attempts. Until 2:30 in the afternoon, a buy order of 100,000 lots suddenly appeared, drawing an upward straight line directly above the daily K. The bulls took the opportunity to launch a counter-attack and successfully sealed the board in less than 2 minutes. Li Yuan continued to look for other stocks and made a huge profit today, 22 points. But he knew that he could not do it for a few days before he would retreat on Wednesday, and he had to find the next stock for himself. Before you know it, the market has closed. Li Yuan was obsessed with looking for the next stock. Gu Dongsheng came over and he didn't notice it. Li Yuan, what are you doing? You have been in a daze for so long, and you didn't notify your brothers when you saw something good. The meal has been eaten, so the experience card for the titles of Yuan Dad and Foster Father has expired. Li Yuan rolled his eyes at Gu Dongsheng and said, when will your mind be as pure as mine? Gu Dongsheng deliberately raised his voice and said, oh, I know where Senior Tong Sui is sitting tonight. What does it have to do with me? Tonight is a party organized by the School of Finance for senior graduates in the school auditorium. The juniors and juniors also have to go and see off the seniors. Gu Dongsheng was shocked. As Tong Sui's senior liquor, Li Yuan would actually refuse such a good thing. He didn't believe it, so he said, call me Dad, let me make some arrangements for you. This party is organized by our student union. I'm not talented. The director of the sports department has a little power in his hands. While speaking, he also made a gesture with his thumb and index finger. If this gesture is seen by Koreans, it will destroy all 9 of his tribes. Li Yuan said with a smile, if you really have the power, just get me a leave request, and I won't go to the party. Gu Dongsheng said with a look of disbelief on his face, what did you say? You're not going. Yeah, what's the problem? Gan. That's a big problem. Even if you're not doing it for Tong Sui, then you have to do it for Anna Shen, right? This is Anna Shen's last performance on stage before she leaves school. If you want to see it next time, you'll probably have to pay for the tickets. Li Yuan frowned. Anna Shen is having a performance tonight? Does that mean, tickets for the party should be quite popular, right? He must know Anna Shen, that junior sister, she has been a celebrity since she entered the school. Top-notch white and rich aura, the only one among the students who drives a Ferrari. She has a lot of connections with the entertainment industry. It has been rumored that after graduating from college, she will participate in a heroine movie and enter the entertainment industry with a high profile. But Li Yuan knew that her movie later became a hit. Li Yuan also knew that Anna Shen's background was in Tianfu capital, and her father Shen Tianfu was a domestic investment tycoon. Tianfu capital currently has assets of more than 20 billion, and he himself is worth more than 3 billion. Gu Dongsheng looked at him with an expression that looked like a fool, aren't you talking nonsense? This kind of opportunity is rare. If you have the chance, you can ask Anna Shen for an autograph. Oh, then help me sell the tickets. I just happen to have a few hundred yuan left. Gu Dongsheng found that Li Yuan said these words very calmly, which was not like Li Yuan's usual style at all. Isn't he a dog licker? Honestly, are you frustrated by Tong Sui? Seeing you like this makes my brother feel heartbroken. Don't worry, I will try my best to create opportunities for you tonight. After saying that, Gu Dongsheng got out of bed directly. He took out his student union badge and walked out. What the hell are you doing? Gu Dongsheng walked to the door, turned around and gave Li Yuan a knowing look, and said, waiting for the good news from my buddy. Li Yuan was about to say something when his cell phone rang suddenly. I picked it up and saw that it was a message from Tong Sui. Li Yuan, are you sick? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. They posted it upside down, and I'm actually not satisfied with it. Author, Lao He. Chapter 3. Senior, there is nothing wrong with me here, but you suddenly said such nonsense. Why don't you go to the infirmary for a checkup? This woman is crazy. Tong Sui immediately replied. Obviously nothing was written, but it seemed like everything was written. Tong Sui in the dormitory was furious. Li Yuan, what does this mean? Say you are sick? He is obviously the one who is sick. Didn't I just not accompany him to dinner? The weather is so hot, it's so troublesome to put on makeup by yourself, and the cosmetics you use are so expensive, don't you still have the right to refuse? As a result, Li Yuan. Play hard to get, right? Let's see how long you can hold on. She didn't believe that a person could change his mind so quickly. Now it's just a counterattack by Li Yuan. He seems to have realized that the copy he wrote is more important to him and wants to control himself. But I will never give her a chance. At this time, her roommate Sun Hungmei sat up from the bed excitedly. The moment I stood up, the bed began to shake. Looking at Tong Sui, she said excitedly, Shuefei, a junior student has confessed to me. He also said that he is a member of the student union and wants to change places with me. Tong Sui. Congratulations, you are now single. Sun Hungmei said embarrassedly, Shuefei, I won't be with you that night. I'll go down and change number plates with Chen Qi now. Tong Sui didn't care at first, but suddenly she heard the name Chen Qi. The reason why she knew Chen Qi was because Li Yuan often needed some pseudonyms when writing manuscripts, such as the outlaw Zhang San. Li Yuan likes to insert an easy-to-understand story into financial articles. For example, a certain unlucky guy, a cuckold. Introducing some financial products through some short stories will make it easier to understand. The codenames used by Li Yuan are Chen Qi, Gu Dongsheng, and so on. She asked, and Li Yuan said that was his roommate. Hungmei, is it really Chen Qi? Which class are you from? I'm from grade 16 finance class 1. Tong Sui understood immediately. That guy Li Yuan is now playing the art of war, pretending not to care, while trying to find ways to get close to him. Come on, then. I've heard of Chen Qi. He's very handsome. I must win him. Don't worry, this is the only time I fall in love, I will definitely cherish it. Sun Hungmei showed a shy expression. He has the aura to kill me if he can't hold me down. After Sun Hungmei left, Tong Sui showed a smile on her face. I won't let you succeed. Suddenly, she had an idea. So I posted it on a circle of friends. What should I do after my roommate is single? Answer, watch the party with an empty seat. There are many dog lickers on her WeChat account, but almost none of them can compare with Li Yuan. Either he's not handsome enough, or he's not talented enough. As for the real rich second generation? Since her circle is currently out of reach, there are quite a few fake rich second generations. In just 10 minutes, she got the reply she wanted. Wu Yanfan, I personally arranged the position of the junior high school girl. It is indeed very good. I wonder if you can let me have a rest then. She immediately changed the other person's remarks. Changed to Student Union Chairman Wu Yanfan. Then took a screenshot and sent it to Li Yuan. And with the text, Li Yuan, this opportunity was originally given to you, but unfortunately you don't want it, so please help me choose one among so many people. I will give a chance to whomever you say I will give a chance to. She didn't believe that Li Yuan could still sit still after seeing this news. It was less than 2 hours before the party started. In the woods behind the college building, Li Yuan stood next to a tall, thin boy with acne on his face, as if they were having a secret meeting. He was worried that he couldn't find anyone to take over his number plate. After all, this thing couldn't be posted openly on WeChat Moments, but Tong Sui sent him a list. Although he has no contact information with most people, he can always find one or two Tong Sui's liquors. Student, please remember, when someone checks the number plate, just say that you are Chen Chi from Class 16 Finance 1. But isn't your name Li Yuan? This is not my number plate, it belongs to my roommate. The tall, thin boy with acne looked like he was suddenly enlightened. Oh, can I really sit with Tong Sui? Of course, my roommate is from the student union. From your position, you are definitely no more than 3 steps away from Tong Sui. You can reach out and hold her. Not only that, this position is also quite forward. You may be able to get Anna Shen's autograph. Such a perfect location, I'll sell it to you for 800, is it expensive? The boy with acne nodded quickly. What does nodding mean? Think it's expensive? Can we really hold hands? Li Yuan. Damn, this is what I was thinking about. Of course, but this kind of thing can only be decided by yourself. After all, nothing is difficult in the world, as long as you are willing. We only sell distance, not romance. You have to fight for it yourself. But, I heard that you are also Tong Sui's licking dog. Damn it, I've already licked her, and I'm not interested anymore. If you mind, I'll find someone else. After Li Yuan finished speaking, he was ready to leave. The boy with acne quickly grabbed him and said, I'll buy it. If I lose to an opponent like you, I'm convinced. This sentence almost made Li Yuan give up money. Damn it, who cares so much about being a rival with a guy like you? Sure enough, there is something wrong with the brains of anyone who licks a dog. Who in the right mind would be a licker? After 800 yuan arrived, he slowly walked outside the school. As for whether the other party could see Tong Sui, he couldn't control it. Anyway, we're in the same place, breathing the same air. As long as it's moist enough, you might be able to inhale what the other person exhales. What's the difference between kissing and kissing? 2 or 3 minutes later, we arrived at the edge of the grove. At this time, it was getting dark and the party was about to begin. At this moment, the sound of conversation came from the side. When I was passing by the woods, I saw a senior student over there. He walked over and masturbated for a while. He likes to pet cats, but he doesn't like to raise cats. If you change your attitude toward cats earlier, do you want to be a dog licker for the rest of your life? The more I think about it, the angrier I get. I'll spend 800 yuan to wash my feet. Meow. The senior sister suddenly shouted, her mood seemed a little dissatisfied. Li Yuan hurriedly touched the senior sister's head and said, I won't wash it anymore. When I come back, I will buy you cat food. After saying that, he stood up and prepared to leave. As a result, the senior sister jumped directly onto his lap. Meow meow. Huh, let's go, I'll take a piece with you today. He reached out and hugged his senior sister in his arms. Although he didn't like being too clingy, today was the first day of his rebirth. If he couldn't reward himself, he would just reward his senior sister. Li Yuan guessed that the senior sister was indeed hungry. Those little girls usually had enough to eat and drink during their free time, but recently it was exam month and none of them came. They are all irresponsible scumbags. You have to remember that you can't be a licking meow. If you lick a meow, you will be picked on. From now on, you have to be more aloof. If you get close to anyone who gives you food every day. Before Li Yuan finished speaking, a clear voice suddenly came from behind. Stop! Where are you taking Xiaobai? Li Yuan didn't pay attention at first. Until a girl ran forward panting and stretched out her arms to stop him. Only then did he realize that the girl had such a big heart. Chi looked out of breath and said, where are you taking Xiaobai? A face with a slight baby fat, delicate facial features, and a very well-proportioned figure, which makes her look like a porcelain doll. Li Yuan asked doubtfully, what's Xiaobai? I saw Dabai. The girl said, it's the cat in your arms. What does it have to do with you? Senior sister is sharing. If the girl in front of her really cared, she wouldn't let her senior sister come to her. The girl said angrily, I don't allow you to take it away. Give it to me quickly. The girl even stretched out her hand to grab it. This is an irresponsible cat slave. Li Yuan immediately dodged, took 2 steps back, and said, what are you going to do? In broad daylight, the world is bright. Give me back Xiaobai. The girl seemed to be crying. What is your little white? When did my Dabai become your little white? What do you mean? Isn't it obvious? This is my cat. But after I went to college, I was not allowed to keep him in the dormitory, and my parents were not free at home, so I kept it on campus. I would come here every day to feed it, otherwise can you be so affectionate to me? The girl's eyes widened in disbelief. Why haven't I seen you? I've been feeding you too. I haven't met you yet. Our Dabai obviously doesn't know you. I haven't been here for only 2 days, and Dabai has lost a lot of weight. I'm going to take him home to raise him. No. The girl came closer again. Li Yuan stepped back and said, what are you going to do? I spent thousands of dollars to buy Dabai, and I have been feeding it for so long. If you dare to rob it, I will call the police. The girl's figure stopped in place. He said aggrievedly, then can you let me hug Xiaobai? Correction, it's by Max. Okay, then can you let me hug by Max? Li Yuan then reluctantly handed over the unknown senior sister's name to the other party. Then he said, just wait for me here, and I'll buy it food. In view of your previous behavior, you put your student ID here with me. If something happens, I'll come find you. Oh. The girl reluctantly took out a campus card. Li Yuan originally wanted to see the girl's name, but after getting the campus card, he took one look and was confused. Anna Shen, grade 14 finance class 3. The photo doesn't look like me. Did you pick up your campus card? Li Yuan asked. The girl hurriedly said, no, it's my sister's, I'm just a high school student. They posted it upside down, and I'm actually not satisfied with it. Author, Lao He. Chapter 4. Chapter 4 Don't look at it, I'm not. Farewell party for graduates of the School of Finance. After the opening, the scene was very quiet. Except for the sound coming from the stage, the rest of the auditorium seemed to be taking part in an important exam. A man and a woman sat together. The man is tall and thin, and his face is covered with acne, like a battlefield after World War II. The woman is dark and fat, and if she scrapes it on her face, it will definitely be enough to cook 2 plates of food. Tong Sui. Li Yuan. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. The 2 cloudy eyes suddenly became bright. Tong Sui found a fellow villager and sat in her seat. Because Li Yuan did not reply to her message, the previous plan fell through. In this case, she would let Li Yuan's plan fail and he would not be able to sit with her. Let's see who is in a hurry. Although there is no manuscript yet, and there is a high probability that there will be no chance to shoot a video and upload it tomorrow, but as long as Li Yuan is grasped, there will be many opportunities in the future. She is a person who is good at finding materials for her life, so after looking for someone to take her place at the party, she came to the school's purple bamboo forest. There are some stray cats hanging out near this forest, and she often lets these cats star in her material. Just like she never goes out without makeup, and never takes pictures without having a big meal. Although she has little money and was born in a rural area, the persona she has set up for her business is to live an exquisite life. In this way, even if most people want to pursue her, they will feel inferior and dare not express their feelings. Those who dare to speak will have good conditions. Even if there are some bold people, she can refuse them calmly, and they will not be resentful or angry. This is how she filters her social circle. Packing yourself into an ordinary teacup will make everyone want to come over and get their hands on it. And package yourself like a gorgeous porcelain, and those who dare to touch it are those who have the confidence to buy it. As soon as she arrived at Zizou Forest, her attention was attracted by the figure on the roadside. On the stone steps on both sides of the road, a boy sat there with a white cat in front of him. The boy held some cat food in his hand, brought it to the white cat, and let the white cat lick the palm of his hand. It was a bit dark, and although the street light was right next to it, the visibility was still not good. But she recognized Li Yuan at a glance. With a well-proportioned figure and handsome appearance, Li Yuan's appearance is among the top, if not the top, in Zhangzhou University. In Tong Suifi's view, Li Yuan's only shortcoming is that he doesn't have much money. Why is this guy here? After thinking about it, she seemed to understand. Because she often posts photos of cats in WeChat moments, according to Li Yuan's dog-licking temperament, he will definitely follow her secretly, and then find that she is often in this area. So, he waited here in advance for him to come, pretending to meet by chance. But shouldn't he be at the party now? Could it be that he found that he was not the one next to him and sneaked out? At this moment, Tong Suifi suddenly understood everything. So she walked up to Li Yuan and said in a cold voice, "Li Yuan, I didn't expect you to be such a person, following me secretly." Li Yuan was having fun with this cat whose name he didn't know its name. "I had a great time chatting with that girl and got to know her name. The girl's name is Xu Yanlin, a native of Zhangzhou, and Shen Anna is her cousin. She just finished the college entrance examination today. Because my home is near the school, I often come to the school to feed the cats. Unfortunately, I don't have time to come here these days because of the college entrance examination." The girl had just fed the cat for a while, and then she offered to buy some snacks to eat. He must have been waiting here. After all, it is hard to find a girl who has the world in mind. Li Yuan looked at Tong Suifi and said, "Sister, if you can't afford a mirror, I am young and have good kidneys, so I can draw a mirror for you." Not far away, Xu Yanlin held a bag of snacks in her hand, stopped and looked here curiously. That senior is so cold and indifferent, why can't he be moved by such a beautiful senior? Then the look in his eyes just now should be pure. Tong Suifi snorted, "How else do you know that I come here every day? Otherwise, how do you know that I feed the stray cat every day? In so many years, I have never seen a boy come here to feed the cat." "What if you are so big?" Fang Fang admitted it. "I thought you were a bold person, but I didn't expect you didn't even dare to admit it. People like you will never have the chance to catch up with me." Tong Suifi, I thought you should go to the brain department before, but now it seems like there's no way you can be saved. Don't waste your registration money, go home honestly, and eat whatever you want." After saying that, Li Yuan hugged the big white cat on the ground and prepared to leave. "Anyway, I will definitely not leave the big white cat behind now, because it is not just a cat. As soon as he stood up, Tong Sui said, "Stop. Li Yuan, is it so difficult to admit that you are pretending?" Li Yuan patted the dust on his body and said casually, "Tong Sui, is it so difficult to admit that you are sick? Haha, do you know how childish you are pretending to be now? No matter how I pretend, it's better to stick it on my face than someone else." Tong Sui's face turned livid, and she gasped in anger, "I'm telling you, the more you act like this, the more you care. Tong Sui, why are you so anxious? You think I am your licking dog, so just wait for me to come over and lick you. Just like what you just said, why are you anxious? Could it be that I'm poking you? Is it painful? Your pad is so thick that it hurts when I poke you, I'm so powerful. Li Yuan, don't force me. I don't have that thing." After saying that, Li Yuan turned around and walked in the direction of Xu Yanlin, whom he had just noticed. A voice came from behind, "You will definitely regret it in the future. I won't give you another chance." Tong Sui almost roared when she said this. Then he added, "Do you think I don't know that you deliberately changed seats to get closer to me? Do you think I don't know that you are playing hard to get? I just don't want to expose you. But now, I tell you, we are finished. You did it all yourself." "Yes, yes, yes, I deserve it, Tong Sui, you must stick to this concept. You are so good, you definitely deserve a better future. The 40-year-old widow in our village married a 24-year-old rich second generation last year, a bride price of 3 million, a Rolls-Royce as a dowry, and a big villa specially bought for her dog." Li Yuan really didn't want to waste his time on Tong Sui. This is not a job he is good at. Tong Sui stood there, watching Li Yuan walk up to a girl, and then gave the cat in his arms to the girl, while she took the things in the girl's arms. The two of them walked slowly forward, and because Li Yuan was taller, he lowered his head to talk to the girl from time to time. She couldn't hear clearly what was said specifically. The sound is too low. But she knew that this must have been deliberately arranged by Li Yuan. Did he think that just finding a girl over would scare her? In the whole school, she has confidence in everyone except Anna Shen. That girl is only about 165, so she is definitely not Anna Shen. Besides, for people like Shen Anna, if Li Yuan works hard for 8 more lifetimes, no one will say a word to him. Xu Yanlin was surprised at first, wondering why Li Yuan suddenly asked her to hold the cat. But after walking for a while, she understood. Because Li Yuan would always turn his head, bend down, and tease the cat in his arms. "Study, senior, why don't I hold you in my arms? Don't you really like it? I'll just let you hold it for a while, and I'll just caress it. It's very well behaved. But, you touched it wrong 3 times. Really? Why don't I feel it? It must be too dark, I am short-sighted." Xu Yanlin blushed to the back of her neck. "Senior, don't look at it, I'm not doing it for you. They posted it upside down, and I'm actually not satisfied with it." Author, Lao He. Chapter 5. Zhangzhou University at night is very artistic. The reflection of the street lamps in the crescent lake, smudged by the surrounding darkness, seems like a water ghost lurking inside is about to emerge from the sky. The sparse shadows of the mottled willow trees on both sides sway in the wind, like individual apiao. Ah! A willow branch touched Xu Yanlin, making her feel numb all over. Subconsciously, he wanted to lean to the left, but Li Yuan's hand was originally stroking the cat's head. Suddenly there was no hair. "I'm really touching the cat this time." Xu Yanlin lowered her head and said nothing. Deep down, she believed that Li Yuan had a pure soul, and after all, he could reject the existence of the woman just now. Moreover, Li Yuan works openly and has the courage to admit it every time. If you really had bad intentions, You should have felt guilty a long time ago, right? How does he look guilty? Senior, can you sell Dabai to me? I can pay. Thinking that Dabai would be taken home by Li Yuan in a few days, she felt a little empty. After the college entrance examination, she already had the energy to raise a cat, and the family would not care about it. Sister, I know you like Dabai very much, but to me, he is not just a pet, but also like a family member. Before he could finish speaking, Xu Yanlin interrupted him and said, Senior, I know, you need to pay more. How about 10,000 yuan? I'll let my cousin give it to you later. If you open your mouth, you can get 10,000 yuan, which is quite explosive at any time. What did my sister say? My sister and I hit it off as if we were relatives in the previous life. Since you like it so much, I'll just give it to you. It's easy to lie to Xu Yanlin, but it's not easy to lie to others. Anyone who doesn't know that this cat has been in school longer than him and is a normal person will not believe the nonsense he tells. Xu Yanlin immediately beamed with joy after hearing this. Really? It's more real than real gold. But I will definitely miss Dabai. During this period, you have to come to me to play with Dabai. Yeah, don't worry, Senior, you can see Dabai whenever you want. I live near the school. Xu Yanlin thinks this is very normal, and it is abnormal to just break it off. Li Yuan can give it to him, so this request is nothing at all. On the contrary, it seems that Li Yuan is an emotional person. Senior, let's add WeChat. Hold head high. The graduation party of the School of Finance was over. After Chen Qi came out, he found Gu Dongsheng and reached out to grab his neck. What the hell did you do? Why is there a new person next to me? And she knew my name as soon as I got here. He now wants to kill someone. After the lights dimmed, the woman touched him directly. However, he was not as strong as the other party and could not break away at all. I almost vomited after eating a free lunch. Gu Dongsheng hurriedly took Chen Qi's arm, and while forcefully opening his fingers, he said, You are no longer one of the 4 King Kongs in our dormitory 233. It has nothing to do with you. If you don't give me an explanation for what happened today, I will castrate you. Chen Qi felt that his whole body was dirty. Although he is not the kind of soul-stirring handsome man, he is still a handsome man. As a result, he was humiliated by a woman who weighed at least 200 pounds. Gu Dongsheng hurriedly explained, As brothers, shouldn't we help each other? What do you mean? That woman is Tong Suifi's roommate. She was sitting with Tong Suifi. Who is next to you? Yes. Of course Chen Qi knew that the person sitting next to him should be Li Yuan. The seats in the auditorium belong to branch 22, and 4 people in their dormitory sit in a row. He reacted and asked, Li Yuan and Tong Suifi are sitting together. Gu Dongsheng nodded. Then Chen Qi got angry again, strangled Gu Dongsheng's neck, and yelled, Then why don't I sacrifice you? You think I didn't sacrifice myself? I couldn't bear to chat with that woman for hours, shit. Gu Dongsheng took out the chat history on his mobile phone and handed it to Chen Qi to read. Chen Qi was even more confused when he saw it. The profile picture is his, and there are photos of him in the circle of friends. The most important thing is that Gu Dongsheng, a son of a bitch, has been telling the woman that he likes her very much and wants to continue dating her. I'll kill you. Fortunately, at this time, Ma Chenkai came over. The two looked at each other and seemed to have new ideas. Ma Chenkai noticed that the 2 people looked at each other a little strangely, so he said, Dad Yuan bought some delicious food in the dormitory and is waiting for us to go back and have a drink. What are you doing here? The 3 of them returned to the dormitory together. After pushing open the dormitory door, I saw 4 small tables put together in the middle of the dormitory. On the table were cans of beer and several cold dishes in plastic bags. Chen Qi and Gu Dongsheng understood immediately. Dad Yuen is in a good mood, otherwise this table would not be cheap, it would cost $200. Seeing Li Yuen setting the chopsticks, Chen Qi immediately ran over with a smile. Dad Yuen, thank you for your hard work. I'll do it. Gu Dongsheng followed closely and said, Dad Yuen, you seem to be in a good mood. Should I congratulate you for having this day every year? Li Yuen looked at Gu Dongsheng's weird smile, as if he had peeked at the art hidden in his computer. But the first day of rebirth is itself a cause for celebration. If it weren't for the lack of money in his pocket and the graduation party, he would definitely invite his roommates out for a meal. I think you are greedy for my hidden folder, right? Eat first, and when you finish eating, I will pass it on to you. There is a series you have always wanted. Gu Dongsheng. Father Yuen is so generous. There's something wrong with being generous. Could it be that today's harvest far exceeded expectations? Shouldn't he be playing second base? Damn it! He hurriedly came to Li Yuen and said as if he wanted to take credit, Dad Yuen, today is all my fault and has nothing to do with anyone else. I have endured so many unknown grievances for you. Chen Qi put down his chopsticks and ran over, I'm the main force tonight. Dad Yuen, you can't forget my contribution. Li Yuen was surprised, credit? What credit? Or two people together? He thought that his number plate had been taken away by Gu Dongsheng once today. In his impression, it was not that number in his previous life, but closer to Tong Suifi's seed. After all, he was Tong Suifi's lover in his previous life, so he would be particularly concerned about her affairs. For a moment, many plots seemed so reasonable. Thinking of this, Li Yuen slapped Gu Dongsheng on the shoulder, I will settle the score with you another day for today's matter. Today is auspicious and not suitable for seeing blood. Gu Dongsheng said with a silly smile, yes, it's time to settle the score. Chen Qi was anxious, you should also settle the score with me. Li Yuen had never encountered such a mean request. He patted Chen Qi on the shoulder and said, okay, I'll settle the score with you in 2 days. As soon as these words came out, Chen Qi felt relieved. Only Ma Chunkai felt a little baffled. It seemed like, there was something going on in the dormitory that was being hidden from him. Especially when they were eating food and drinking, the little glances between the three of them seemed like a tacit understanding that exceeded that between normal friends. He poured a bottle of beer, suddenly patted Gu Dongsheng on the shoulder, then looked at the other two people and said, are we all brothers anymore? The three of them were puzzled and nodded. Li Yuen asked, Old Ma, what do you mean? Ma Chunkai said resentfully, why don't you take me with you when you go out for prostitution? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. They posted it upside down, and I'm actually not satisfied with it. Author, Lao He. Chapter 6. Ma Chunkai drank some wine and talked loudly there. Although I have a clean background and have never thought of doing anything illegal, since we are brothers, this kind of thing shouldn't be hidden from me. I am pleased that you believe in my character and personality, but you doubt my brotherly love for you, which makes me very unhappy. Anyway, the three of you will discuss it together. If you don't invite me once, I will turn the 4 King Kongs in the dormitory into 3, and you will lose me forever. After I finished speaking, I found that no one responded. So he said anxiously, I heard that you will give a red envelope for the first time. Maybe you can still make money. Dad Yuen. No one noticed that the most boring person in the dormitory was Ma Chunkai. This guy has an upright face. He doesn't care about women at all. He doesn't even have any personal items in his computer. He is as pure as a cabbage. That night, his mask was completely torn off. Li Yuen didn't know how he came up with that sentence. Maybe he couldn't contain the ancient power in his body? It could also be that in my previous life, I had only seen Tong Sui and ignored the people around me. Although I cannot say that the friendship between college roommates is unbreakable, as long as it is managed well, it can be regarded as the last stop in life. The whole dormitory was so noisy that I fell asleep very late. After Li Yuan woke up, while the other two people in the dormitory were studying on their laptops on the bed, Ma Chen-kai was the only one who was getting ready to go out. Moreover, Ma Chen-kai had obviously dressed up carefully. He was reluctant to wear that small lapel t-shirt on weekdays. I also took out the sneakers that had been gathering dust for a month. The reason why I didn't want to wear them was that I had to wear socks when wearing sneakers, and on hot days, socks had to be washed every day. The socks in the entire dormitory are all the kind that can't withstand washing, and they cost 10 yuan for 8 pairs. A pair of socks is wasted in one day, and the landlord's family has no food left. Other times are better. A pair of socks lasts as long as half a month and as short as 7 or 8 days. You don't have to worry about them going rancid overnight. Something is wrong. Old Ma, where are you going? Ma Chen-kai was obviously panicked and said insincerely, of course it's self-study. I have to take the discrete mathematics test tomorrow. The dog shook his head after looking at that thing. The teacher didn't even draw a range. After saying that, he ran away quickly. Li Yuan glanced at Chen Qi and Gu Dongsheng, who were squinting furtively, and said directly, when can you two become one person? Yuan, isn't this all for you? As long as you and Tong Sui can live a good life, and the three of us are foster fathers, what does this sacrifice mean? Chen Qi said smugly. Li Yuan knew that it was too difficult to change his dog-licking image. But being involved with Tong Sui made him feel a little nauseous. So he said, what kind of rubbish is Tong Sui? Isn't it? Chen Qi and Gu Dongsheng jumped up from the bed. There were two bangs, the sounds of close contact between the head and the roof. The two looked at Li Yuan, who had already gone to wash up. Didn't you make some progress with Tong Sui last night? After Li Yuan finished washing, he walked out and said, there's some shit going on. I didn't go at all. I sold the place for 800 yuan and treated you to dinner for 230 yuan. Then, he took his notebook and walked out. Inside the dormitory, the two looked at each other with big eyes. Chen Qi sighed, then our efforts yesterday were in vain. It's not in vain, at least we know that our brains are filled with water. Who would have thought that he would stop licking the dog? Gu Dongsheng felt that he had managed the situation perfectly, and it would be unreasonable for Li Yuan not to confess to him. Result. And Chen Qi suddenly said, Lao Gu, is there a possibility that Li Yuan is covering up something? Huh? What do you mean? Maybe he said it on purpose. Going out with a notebook so early in the morning made it clear that he was going on a date with Tong Sui. It's really possible. Chen Qi looked enigmatic and said firmly, and I can guarantee that they have definitely gone to the library. Let's follow them. If it wasn't what I thought, I would have contracted all the online classes for everyone in the dormitory. You sure? Chen Qi said confidently, if it's true, introduce Tian Tian from your student union to me. That's our minister's girlfriend. I know. At around 8 o'clock in the morning, father-in-law's son ran out in a hurry as if his biological father had died. Li Yuan was sweating profusely after walking for only 5 minutes. If the smell of cold dishes in the dormitory last night and the smell of sweat were not so exciting, he wouldn't want to come out at all. Of course, Xu Yanlin's reasoning was also the reason. As a boy of the new era, even if he had a quarrel with Tong Sui, all he could do was not to slander or abuse. But Tong Sui is not as reasonable as Xu Yanlin. At the old-time cafe at the south gate of the school, after Li Yuan arrived, he ordered a glass of ice water and turned on the computer to check the market while waiting for Xu Yanlin to come over. The stock market is a huge casino, where the chips are changing all the time. The so-called market trend is actually just a result of the change of capital chips, not something that will inevitably happen. However, it should be difficult to be affected by the big market trends, especially with his little money. Unfortunately, there has been no big market in the past 2.5 years. It's also a good thing. If you save some money in the past 2 years and enjoy a big market, you can basically retire. While building your own reputation, you can earn free money while making money. As long as you don't break the law, even if you make mistakes occasionally, your ability to resist risks is not weak. Stock picking is not difficult for him. What is difficult is that he has too little capital. It's not that he hasn't thought about online loans, but he is just a college student, and his credit limit on Huobi is only 2,000 yuan. It is estimated that other platforms combined may not be able to get 20,000 yuan, and his credit report will be checked dozens of times, and then I received constant harassing phone calls throughout my life. Opening Douyin, I found that yesterday's video had more than 600 views. However, there were no comments, and the number of fans increased by 3. The algorithm is like this. When the traffic is low, 1 or 2,000 people will not have a comment, but when the traffic is high, a comment may appear from a dozen people. In this platform, every user will have a data model. What Li Yuan has to do now is to determine his own fan group model, and then big data will be pushed. This data is already good on the first day. After all, he is not just a sideshow, he is not making funny content, and he is not taking advantage of other hot topics. But when he clicked on the homepages of 3 fans, he suddenly saw that one of them was actually traveling with him. A financial blogger with more than 30,000 followers. Ling Linky, big a female stock god, gender, female. He clicked on one of the other party's videos and took a look, and immediately a crying voice came from inside. The content of the video is the holding account of the other party, and the background is crying. Who will save me? Big just caught me and hummed me. Another day of big falls, woo woo woo. I didn't want to eat today, so I added to my position in Shenlong Electronics. Ah. Why? Who is making money in this world? Li Yuan was shocked. This blogger was losing money every day. She is really evil. Others can still make a little profit, but Biga can only cut leaks at most, and rarely remove the roots. No matter how much it falls, it is normal for it to rebound within a few days. But she didn't. Update a video every trading day and lose money every day. It was clear that the stocks she held had rebounded on the way, but she accurately adjusted her positions the day before the rebound every time. In the first video, the account has a principal of 400,000. As of now, the 56th video, the account principal is only 130,000. Is there really such a person in the world? What did our ancestors do? They posted it upside down, and I'm actually not satisfied with it. Author, Lao He. Chapter 7. Yesterday, he made 9,700 yuan, bringing his position to more than 54,000 yuan. There was nothing to do today. He started doing theoretical analysis on the first half of the video in advance and took the time to reply to Xu Yanlin's WeChat message. There is still a little time until the appointed time. Things like self-media sometimes really depend on luck. Some people can use traps to pay 30, and then directly take off and become tens of millions of bloggers. Some people cost tens of thousands of yuan per video and cannot attract anyone's attention. The path he took was basically the most difficult. Once successful, it goes without saying that the rewards will be great. Fans will basically become die-hard believers. In this era of self-media, just 10,000 diehards can lead a prosperous life. For example, if you write a novel, if 10,000 people subscribe and consume it, if you are lazy and only update 6,000 words every day, you can earn 50,000 yuan a month. If you go to sell goods and call your family, the commission can take off directly. For other bloggers, 1 million fans may only have a few hundred diehards, but if he has 1 million fans, he will have at least 50,000 diehards. His video is divided into 2 parts. The first minute is his review and talks about the recent market conditions. He does not talk about individual stocks, but only the market and sectors. In the next 20 seconds, I will explain my trading ideas and results today. Before I knew it, 20 minutes had passed. After he felt that the light in front of him was blocked, he raised his head and took a look. With just one glance, he knew it was not Xu Yanlin, even though the person in front of him was wearing a warm-colored sun hat and a pair of fashionable sunglasses, covering half of his face. After all, men don't focus on their faces for the first time. Although the person in front of me is quite impressive, she is still 2 levels shy of Xu Yanlin's shocking performance. Can I sit here? Of course it can be done. Li Yuan watched the girl in front of him sit down and slowly took off his sunglasses. A delicate face was completely revealed. She herself did not say that as the only goddess in the entire Zhangzhou University, her figure and appearance must be top-notch. Tong Suifei stood in front of her, her appearance was half inferior, her figure was almost the same, but her temperament was completely compromised. After Anna Shen sat down, she said, "Hello, I." Before she could finish her words, she was interrupted by Li Yuan. "Wait a moment." After Li Yuan interrupted, he immediately opened a video website on his laptop and started searching for related videos. Anna Shen came here this time just to have a chat with Li Yuan. After all, after she heard something Xu Yanlin said last night, she felt that this Li Yuan had no good intentions. Especially when Xu Yanlin was asked to come over to meet her so early in the morning, she was even less like a good person. Whose nice guy secretly dates a high school student? Suddenly, the sound of advertisement came from Li Yuan's computer. Are you still worried about having no money? Come to HPIOU, borrow 10,000 yuan, and the interest is only 8 yuan a day. Don't go to those informal online loans anymore. HPIOU, formal platform, no credit check, quick loan. Anna Shen looked at Li Yuan with wide eyes. And Li Yuan was a little embarrassed. After all, the advertising was a bit too rampant. And these ads are so stinky and long. Anna Shen is a very patient person. She came here just for a normal chat. After all, this matter is just the beginning, and there are many ways to solve it. However, Li Yuan's behavior of placing advertisements at the beginning still allowed her to break through her defense. Li Yuan wanted to wait for the advertisement to end quickly, but found that there were still more than 50 seconds in the upper right corner. He simply turned down the computer audio and said, "Senior Sister Shen, I am Li Yuan from grade 16 Finance Class 1. Why do you want me to come? I know very well that I am easy to talk to and will not make any excessive demands." Anna Shen. What do you mean by excessive demands? She thought that social networking was what she was best at, but Li Yuan came up first to place an advertisement for her, and then said that he knew everything. At this time, Li Yuan finally waited for the advertisement to end. Immediately increase the audio volume on the computer. He was even afraid that Anna Shen wouldn't be able to hear clearly, so he usually used a volume of more than 20, but today he turned it up to 80. A loud voice came from the computer. "This is 5 million, take this money and leave my daughter." Anna Shen. Li Yuan dragged back the progress bar for a few seconds. "This is 5 million, take this money and leave my daughter." "This is 5 million, take this money and leave my daughter." Listening to this voice, Anna Shen was already a little excited. What does this guy Li Yuan mean? Want money? She is a person with a good temper. After all, growing up in the environment at home, it is impossible for her to be a willful young lady. In that case, her father had already arranged everything for her. How could he give her the opportunity to go to college, blatantly enjoy wealth, and get in touch with people of high status. It is precisely because she has good qualities, will not bring trouble to the family, and will help the family to a certain extent that she is allowed to show up. But today, looking at Li Yuan's natural look, she couldn't hold it back. Li Yuan, don't you think your behavior is excessive? It seems like we have been manipulated by you. I will not let Linlin have a friend like you. After saying that, she strode out angrily. At this time, at the door of the old-time cafe, two people were lying against the wall, watching the scene inside through the glass. Gu Dongshen was mumbling something over there, while Chen Qi was lying on his shoulder a little anxious. Didn't you say you could speak? What on earth did they say? Haven't you figured it out yet? Anna Shen has already gone out. The two of them had just arrived here 2 minutes ago, and then they saw the moment Anna Shen took off her sunglasses. And the figure next to them turned into ashes and they all knew it. How shocking is this scene? They would rather believe that the earth will explode tomorrow than believe that Li Yuan is dating Anna Shen. Gu Dongshen was still mumbling something, but Chen Qi couldn't wait any longer and asked again, "Can you do it?" "Okay, okay. I have memorized Anna Shen's mouth shape and am verifying it bit by bit." "Then what did you verify?" "It's too much, I got your seed." "What?" Yes, this is it." Gu Dongsheng said something very confidently, as if he had a profound enlightenment. Then when they thought about this sentence again, the two of them felt numb. Chen Qi muttered, "It's too much. Did you end up with me?" Gu Dongsheng has not yet recovered from the shock. After a moment, the two looked at each other. Grass. Oh shit. No wonder I have to lick Tong Sui. With Anna Shen, Tong Sui is nothing. The two of them were relieved for a moment, because this was the behavior of a normal person, even they would make this choice. Unknowingly, the two of them walked to the south gate of the school. Chen Qi, who had not had breakfast, suddenly said, "Go have a meal." Gu Dongsheng said weakly, "I have no appetite." "Can such words come out of your mouth? When did you not enjoy eating the most? Today is different, my heart is broken." "What's wrong? Anna Shen is your goddess? If you really think so, if you hold Lao Li and take a bite, it will be regarded as an indirect kiss with your goddess." Get lost." Gu Dongshen went directly to the flower bed and sat down. He murmured to himself, "Goddesses are different from women. Anna Shen is so perfect." Chen Qi was puzzled and said, "There's not much difference between Anna Shen and Tong Sui. Lao Li now has Anna Shen. If you really like that, go after Tong Sui. You can't catch up anyway, and the result will be the same." Gu Dongsheng sighed, "To be honest, I really don't like Tong Sui. It's not that she is not beautiful, but that I am self-aware. No one in our dormitory can catch up with Tong Sui, and even Lao Li, I don't think he can succeed." "Then you are still trying to find a way to match up. Who makes him like it?" "Tong Sui is an extremely realistic woman, even naked outside. Of course, she also has the capital. But for people like us, we still want to play high-end games without money, in addition to being a licking dog, there is no way." Chen Qi said angrily, "Then you are so sad and will miss you for the rest of your life. Anna Shen is not yours either." "It's different, on my first day of school, it was Anna Shen's welcome, because Anna Shen is from the student union. She is different from everyone I have met. She will not be arrogant just because she is praised by many stars. Even if she is the minister of the student union, and she does not boss around the officers under her. The most important thing is that she is serious about her work, does everything herself, and treats others with gentleness and kindness. Almost all the beautiful qualities in the world seem to be concentrated in her, like this. Who else is qualified if she is not a goddess?" "Then you go after him, just like Lao Li. What if you catch him? I won't be anyone's bitch, even if she is the only goddess in my heart. Whether in high school or college, I have met many girls. When I was in high school, I chased our school belle, and I met Lao Li. The situation was similar before. I became a dog licker and ended up with nothing. In high school, I ate steamed buns and pickles every day, and a meal of instant noodles was considered to improve my life, just to buy a holiday gift for that girl. And the gift I bought with my living expenses, I turned around and found it in the school trash can. That day he dug out the gift from the trash can and gave it to the goddess in embarrassment, just because he wanted to find the confession letter inside. Taking back the letter was his last act of stubbornness. In Gu Dongshen's view, Li Yuan only needs to fail once with Tong Sui Fi, and he will naturally have a complete enlightenment in the future. Where can a licking dog find a good home? Licking dogs can't die a good death. He said this with a calm expression. At this time, Li Yuan's voice came from behind. Lao Gu is right, a man can be anything in this life, just don't be a licking dog. As soon as these words came out, Chen Qi and Gu Dongshen became angry. I and you are sworn in. You give me back, Anna Shen. Gu Dongshen thought very well, but when he saw Li Yuan, he still couldn't hold it back. Li Yuan hurriedly said, "What are you doing? Does your Anna Shen have anything to do with me? Aren't you a bad licker in your life?" The two were confused. Anna Shen is pregnant. How could this bitch Li Yuan say such a thing? Gu Dongshen grabbed Li Yuan's clothes and shouted, "I said you shouldn't be a licker, and I didn't let you become a scumbag. You must be responsible for Anna Shen. They posted it upside down, and I'm actually not satisfied with it." Author, Lao He. Chapter 8. Anna Shen is your goddess, not mine. If you want to be responsible, just go ahead. It's none of my business. Li Yuan pushed Gu Dongshen away. This guy just said seriously that licking a dog would lead to a good death, and he became confused in the blink of an eye. I'll go to the cafeteria to buy food. If you guys want to eat, I'll bring it to you. If you don't eat, forget it. After Li Yuan took a few steps, he turned back and said something. Gu Dongshen, whose face was full of anger, gritted his teeth and stared at Li Yuan. The tenderloin pancake I always eat, I want to add the tenderloin for 3 yuan. This world has changed. He used to be a dog licker, but in the blink of an eye he became a scumbag, and he is still the biggest scumbag in the world. How dare he? That's Anna Shen. Where's Lao Chen? Chen Qi immediately said, "It would be better if we could add 2 more eggs, I also like to drink the black rice porridge from next door. Give me some black rice porridge too." Gu Dongshen added another sentence. Now only food can heal his wounds. Chen Qi, on the other hand, was envious. Once a person is psychologically unbalanced, he will try to make up for it. After eating Li Yuan's meal, he will feel much better. After all, this bitch is really the one who dares to abandon Anna Shen. Damn it, I am seeking justice. He patted Gu Dongshen on the shoulder and said, "Lao Gu, look away." Gu Dongshen said stubbornly, "I can't stand it." Chen Qi was helpless, so what if you can't look away? Anyway, you are not planning to chase Anna Shen. No. How can he bear it? Yes, strongly condemn him. Go back to the dormitory and I will help you. You don't need to help me condemn him, just help me get through the online classes. I'm on the same side as you. Li Yuan arrived at the cafeteria at an extremely fast speed. Every second of delay meant that more of his skin cells died. It was not surprising to see Anna Shen in a cafe. Even he, a stranger, could easily approach Xu Yanlin, which showed that Xu Yanlin was a very unsuspecting girl. She and Anna Shen are still cousins, and she will definitely tell Anna Shen about this when she returns. Li Yuan knew that Anna Shen was a top socialite. Later, with the blessing of her status in the entertainment industry, she became even more popular. Even though she doesn't have a single work that she can produce, she still becomes a traffic darling due to her incredible looks, connections, and worldly connections. He has no intention of following the rich woman. Even if the rich woman has a weak brain, the rich woman's father must have a normal brain. Don't ask, just ask, and you've done it. Living with a rich woman is no different from raising a second wife. The latter is buying other people's youth with money, while the former is trading one's own youth for other people's money. If he is a complete loser and doesn't know where to strive, he might still consider making some quick money to support himself in retirement. But rich women will most likely look down on such people. Even if some blind people fall in love with it, they may not be able to benefit from it. Landlords will not support idle people unless you work hard and show excellent qualities. But after working hard, why are you looking for a rich woman like this? Let the rich woman take care of it. A rich woman will not let you use money to trade youth with other women. Even if you make money, it can only be spent by two people. If you get divorced, you will lose more than half of it. No matter from which point of view, finding a rich woman is a very bad deal. Of course, it's okay for those who work hard but have no achievements, provided that they find a blind rich woman first. So from the beginning, he made two preparations. This is Xu Yanlin, treat her well. It was Anna Shen who came. He had already prepared ice water was only 5 yuan, and he had all the cash in his pocket. It's a pity that I didn't hear Lao Gu's gossip. When he came, Gu Dongsheng had finished speaking, but he only heard the last sentence, licking a dog will lead to a good death. This shows that Gu Dongsheng, his roommate, is more open-minded than him. After graduating in his previous life, Gu Dongsheng seemed to be doing well, at least without any financial problems. The other two roommates had more or less borrowed money from Gu Dongsheng. And he borrowed the most, a full 30,000. He didn't pay it back until he was reborn. This guy really didn't want the money after borrowing it. For a man who has not yet started a family, if he only borrows money for consumption and does not buy anything big for the family, he is definitely being a licker. And that money is just money. Shouldn't you just go to the club to lick your dog? That is impossible. Men don't borrow money to go to clubs. Even if they borrow money, it's just for their own money. They have no shame in talking to their friends. Unless you get caught. Because it is exam month, students generally wake up late. So it's almost 9 o'clock, and there are still a lot of students in the restaurant. As a result, he had to queue up to buy some breakfast. Although the queue only lasted for a minute or two, but in that little time, something happened. No one can stand in line without looking around, especially when he has black rice porridge in his left hand and a notebook in his right hand, and he can't play with his mobile phone either. He saw that guy Ma Chen-kai. Next to him was a woman, and next to that woman was another woman. The two women are very distinct. The figure is as distinct as a fat and thin head, and the contrasting appearance between Er Chiao and Huang Yueying. The three of them had just finished eating and were ready to leave. Coincidentally, the window where Li Yuan was located was near the exit. Ma Chen-kai's bullseye eyes immediately saw him. Then he walked over with his donkey face licked, and said with a smile, "Lao Li, are you here too? Will we go to Wanda together later?" Tong Sui stood there and was the focus of the audience, her cold hands folded in front of her. She is not small to begin with, she just padded it out a little to make the video effect more obvious. When she saw Li Yuan, she understood that Li Yuan was deliberately creating a chance encounter here. The guy named Ma Chen-kai just now licked his roommate Sun Hungmei like crazy. As Sun Hungmei's roommate, she felt that she overacted. Now it seems that the purpose is to cover up Li Yuan and let Li Yuan get close to her. I have to say that Li Yuan's roommate is really hard-working. She didn't speak and pretended to be cold. What the hell, there won't be a discrete mathematics test tomorrow. Also, the semester is about to end, so you won't study the 36 hours of online classes. Machankai, Machankai, your family will give you money to go to college. I want you to study hard. Even if you don't want to study, you still want to lead your classmates into trouble. Machankai. Damn discrete mathematics, he just made excuses. So he came to Li Yuan and whispered, discrete mathematics is fine. If you don't review it, I will give you a key point tonight to ensure that you at least pass. You go shopping with me, I don't know what to give to girls things, you have experience. Li Yuan's blood pressure skyrocketed. Why does he have experience? Old Ma, you have to remember that no matter how beautiful a girl is, if you look at her 100 times, she is not yours, and she will not make your future road easier. Books are different. Reading them 100 times will bring you knowledge. It's yours. Knowledge can serve as a ladder to your success, and knowledge can also become a tool for you to enjoy life. After speaking, Li Yuan rubbed Ma Chankai's shoulder with his shoulder and showed a deep look. Men of our generation should be diligent, hold books and swords to shine upon our country, and say goodbye to you. I hope you can achieve a complete enlightenment. After saying this, Li Yuan folded his arms, stretched out 2 fingers, and asked the staff serving food at the window to hang the bag on it. Then, without squinting his eyes, he walked out of the cafeteria with an upright look on his face. When passing by Tong Sui, he didn't even take a deep breath. After all, in the eyes of most people, the air around Tong Sui is sweet, and taking a breath when passing by can be used as a source of bragging. Tong Sui took a deep breath and said, Li Yuan, don't you have nothing to say to me? Li Yuan said without looking back, go back and update the video quickly. Your fans will have no material in the middle of the night. What do you mean? Tong Sui chased after him and blocked the front. Li Yuan glanced at her and said expressionlessly, what do you mean? You said about updating the video, do you think I can't continue without your manuscript? Tong Sui was determined to tear off Li Yuan's mask of disguise this time. Li Yuan said casually, yes. You. Tong Sui gasped for air. At this time, many eyes had gathered around him. If it weren't for Tong Sui, no one would actually care, but Tong Sui is very eye-catching in school. Many people know that Li Yuan is Tong Sui's dog licker. In fact, many people envied Li Yuan, because although Tong Sui didn't agree, she at least gave him a chance and didn't reject it. But now, something seems to be wrong. Tong Sui knew that in this situation, she could never abandon her image as a goddess, so she calmed down and said with a smile, Li Yuan, when you offered to help me write the financial manuscript, I was very touched. I didn't expect you to do it for me this kind of purpose. But I can only say that you have read the wrong person. Being a financial anchor is just an idea of mine. Even if it does not succeed, it is nothing worth caring about to me. Also, financial manuscripts, before you write them for me, I will write them myself. Oh. Li Yuan walked directly towards Tong Sui. Tong Sui was frightened and took 2 steps back, patted her chest and said, what are you going to do? Go back to eat? Haven't you noticed that you are blocking my way back to the dormitory? Tong Sui said sadly, Li Yuan, at this time, is it so difficult to admit that you have done something wrong? I gave you a chance, but you didn't cherish it. Now you don't even dare to admit your mistake. Which girl will dare to talk to you in the future? Friend. Tong Sui, do you know what you should be grateful for? Li Yuan stared at Tong Sui and squinted his eyes. Thank you for what? Thank you for not having an empty hand today. Damn, this woman is still Pua herself. What happened in his previous life was his own doing, and he never thought about resenting anyone. He just wanted to live a good life in this life, and he never thought about talking to Tong Sui again. But time and again, she was like a creator, trampling on the dignity of others, making up her own mind for no reason, and then speaking so firmly. The anger that he had suppressed was directly aroused. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. They posted it upside down, and I'm actually not satisfied with it. Author, Lao He. Chapter 9. Get Out. Tong Sui watched Li Yuan leave with dull eyes. The image of Li Yuan in her heart was like a mirror suddenly shattered. No matter how she pieced it together, she could not piece together a complete image. This was not the Li Yuan she knew. But she soon figured out that there was no need for her to feel sad about this matter. After all, she had never thought of agreeing to Li Yuan. Li Yuan is indeed talented, but her ability to enter society has not yet been verified, and she will not hand over all her chips. Moreover, Li Yuan comes from an ordinary family, and his family is unlikely to give him much help. Unless he is a top genius, the ceiling will be visible to the naked eye in the future. After thinking about this, she felt relieved. This decision now is Li Yuan's loss. He missed the opportunity to be with him, even though the chance of him agreeing was only 0.00001%. The bystanders around wanted to turn into a warm man and beat Li Yuan up, but most of them didn't have the courage. Tong Sui walked up to Sun Songmei and said, Hongmei, let me accompany you to Wanda. I will treat you to dinner at noon. I can also give you a reference for whatever you like then. She had a peaceful smile on her face, elegant and beautiful, and her every smile touched the hearts of her admirers. Sun Hongmei immediately said, Shuefei, don't be sad. No one thought that Li Yuan was that kind of person. He is a piece of trash who will be hit by a car sooner or later when he goes out. Sun Hongmei is Tong Sui's die-hard supporter, because she needs to be watched by Tong Sui's side. Otherwise, with her image, she will never meet a handsome guy who takes the initiative to chat with her in her life. Tong Sui immediately said, don't curse him, no matter what, he has helped me sometimes. And, your boyfriend is still his roommate. As soon as these words came out, Ma Chunkai felt a little embarrassed. He glanced at Sun Hongmei next to him, with an expression as if he wanted to eat someone, and hurriedly said, it's okay, it's okay. I also think he went too far. I apologize to you on his behalf. I'll treat you to lunch. In the dormitory, 3 people were eating there. Li Yuan asked, what on earth did you do? Introduce Lao Ma to Sun Hongmei? It wasn't Lao Chen before. This thing is simply outrageous. Didn't Chen Qi and Sun Hongmei sit together last night? Why did it change to Ma Chunkai again today? Gu Dongsheng took a bite of the cake, but half of the whole cake was missing. He hesitated and said, what's weird about this? Sun Hongmei knows herself very well. She must know that no one will really like her, no matter who it is, can be your boyfriend, just find someone to post on WeChat moments with and show off. Lao Chen doesn't want to go, and Lao Ma is eager to give it a try, so who else can I look for if I don't look for him? Li Yuan didn't expect that Gu Dongsheng was really a little master, and he could see it so clearly at the age of 19. This is probably the reason why this person did well in his previous life, but the other 3 in the dormitory were in a mess. But he felt that Chen Qi was quite tolerant. He didn't understand why he didn't get along in his previous life. Gu Dongsheng continued, although Sun Hongmei doesn't look very good and has a large tonnage, in fact, Lao Ma is absolutely willing, otherwise he would have come back by this time. In essence, he and Sun Hongmei are the same people. Sun Hongmei knows that she is conditions, so it doesn't matter if it's a man. And as long as Lao Ma doesn't spend money or spends less money, it can be a woman. Li Yuan. He glanced at Chen Qi. This guy also licked dogs in his last life, but he didn't know who he was licking and never said anything about it. Fortunately, I have someone to support me, otherwise I would be the only idiot in the entire dormitory. I really never had a good chat with my roommate in my last life, but even if I did, I would most likely not be able to listen. A stubborn person will never feel that he has done something wrong unless he suffers an unforgettable big loss in his life. Lao Gu is so accurate in judging people that he can become a life coach. After Li Yuan finished speaking, Gu Dongsheng shook his head. I can be a shitty life coach. I'm still wondering. When did you suddenly become so incomprehensible? What's the meaning? You know what I mean. We all know what happened between you and Anna Shen. Li Yuan. Did these two guys see themselves talking to Anna Shen? Then you think that you have something to do with Anna Shen? He smiled and said, I just communicated with her, but I wasn't actually familiar with her. This sentence directly made Gu Dongsheng break his guard and cursed, Bah! Do you think we don't know what dirty things you have done? What did I do? Why didn't I know? As a result, Gu Dongsheng slid down from the chair, squatted in front of Li Yuan, and said with a flattering smile, Dad Yuan, please tell me, do you have some ulterior information about Anna Shen? Damn, am I that kind of person? Yes, you are. Normal people wouldn't be so inferior to beasts. What the hell? This meal was a waste. But Gu Dongsheng had already figured out the plot in his mind, shook Li Yuan's knees, and said with tears in his eyes, Dad Yuan, please give me a price and sell me Anna Shen's information. He wanted to rescue Anna Shen from the sea of knives and fire, and destroy the leverage in Li Yuan's hands. Li Yuan felt Gu Dongsheng's nose bursting with tears and almost knelt down. He quickly jumped up from the chair and cursed, if you really want to chase Anna Shen, just go after Anna Shen yourself. It's none of my business. Nonsense, if I could catch up, I would have done so on the first day of college. Gu Dongsheng stood up and complained. You want to use this trick when you can't catch up? You're not any better than me. Dirty. Bah! After Li Yuan finished speaking, he hurried to his upper bunk. Gu Dongsheng went crazy. He is not a dog licker, but he is more terrifying than a dog licker, and he actually wants to use such a despicable trick. Chen Qi, who had been silent for the whole time, slowly said, Old Li, just take pity on Lao Gu. Anna Shen is his only goddess, and he wants to do something for his goddess. Breakfast can't stop you, can it? We are all roommates after all. Where the hell did you all learn that? I'll reiterate it again, Anna Shen has nothing to do with me. I'll chase whoever wants to pursue her. She's so blabbering. If I say a few words to her, she'll be hers. Got the handle? Then if I contact Zhang Yuling every day, am I Zhang Yuling's husband? You're so cruel. Chen Qi didn't want to speak anymore. This guy Li Yuan is actually humiliating his goddess. Is this son of a bitch worthy? Zhang Yuling is his class teacher. Gu Dongsheng, who didn't get the result, seemed a little resentful. He said angrily, Lao Li, since you don't cooperate, don't blame me for being rude. I want to make your scandal public. Li Yuan, who was on the upper bunk, waved his hand and said, Go ahead, go ahead. If you have the guts, just add by the way, the lover of my dreams is Zhang Yuling. Li Yuan really doesn't care. Aren't you just being used as a licking dog for Tong Sui? Don't be afraid if you say it out loud. It's equivalent to hanging a sword over your head. You should always be wary of yourself and don't fall into the dog-licking trap again. As for Zhang Yuling, it's okay to say it, because this kind of thing has been done before. Ever since a guy yelled on the college confession wall last year and was called over by Zhang Yuling to talk, many people seem to have enlightened. For a month, the confession wall of the School of Finance was filled with confessions to Zhang Yuling, each one with plans to travel from Zhangzhou to the capital. Unfortunately, those animals in the back were not so lucky. In fact, in terms of appearance, Zhang Yuling cannot compare with Tong Suifei and Shen Anna, but the maternal brilliance of Zhang Yuling is really too strong. 24 years old, second-year graduate student, part-time class teacher. That may not be clear. In terms of image, Zhang Yuling's temperament, appearance, and figure, apart from money, are like a high-end leafage hen. They posted it upside down, and I'm actually not satisfied with it. Author, Lao He. Chapter 10. Two crazy animals left the dormitory. It was rare for Li Yuan to relax for a while. Work was still the most important thing, and he opened the trading software skillfully. After the market opened, Zhai Construction hit the daily limit, and then he cleared his position at the daily limit. When a gap opened on the way, he went in again at about 7 o'clock. With the closure of the West China Sea due to construction, today's floating profit was nearly 14 points. He is very lucky that he became a reviewer in his previous life. Otherwise, with his current ability, all he could do would be to buy Bitcoin. But he doesn't know much about Bitcoin. He only knows the long-term trend. It is difficult to guarantee profits in the short term. In terms of self-media, there is no way to do finance-related work. If you want to produce content, you have to spend money to build a team. There are not many projects that can be done purely by individuals, and most of them are highly replaceable. Unless you open your mouth to the 88,000-year-old Ban Zhang. More than an hour later, he finished today's video, but did not update it immediately. After all, he is a blogger with 3 followers. He posts orders during the trading session and is suspected of recommending stocks. After browsing the online class for a while, I picked up my phone and took a look. It was almost lunchtime, and the 2 animals in the dormitory still hadn't come back. He wanted to treat these guys well. After all, they had helped him a lot in his previous life. So I sent a WeChat message to everyone, "Are you coming back for dinner?" I ordered 3 portions of braised chicken. Although Ma Chunkai would most likely not come back, he still sent it out of respect. If Ma Chunkai wants to come back to eat, he can just add another serving. At this time, Chen Qi, who was in the school computer room, looked at Gu Dongshen next to him with his mobile phone and said, "Look, Lao Li has ordered food for us again." "Okay, I know." Chen Qi said helplessly, "Then do you still want to do it?" "Do it? I want to seek justice for Anna Shen." Gu Dongshen's eyes were very determined, and the movements of his hands did not stop. His fingers were dancing wildly and the keyboard was clicking. "Do you still want to eat the food?" "Of course, eating doesn't conflict with this matter." Gu Dongsheng stretched his fingers, looked at the manuscript he had written, and showed a satisfied smile. "This is a genuine little essay." In Anna Shen's tone, she criticized Li Yuan, a scumbag. The title is called Li Yuan from Grade 16 Finance Class 1, Give Me Justice for the Child in My Belly. She introduced herself at the beginning, saying that she was Anna Shen from the 14th level finance college. Then when the school started last year, she met the freshman Li Yuan. She was finally moved by his sincerity and agreed to be his girlfriend. Starting from the first word of this article, it is Gu Dongshen's own imaginary plot, which is the so-called rumor. But this time he felt at ease spreading rumors. Because he knew that Li Yuan's only chance to get in touch with Shen Anna would be on the first day of school, when Shen Anna was the person in charge of welcoming new students to the student union of the School of Finance. With Li Yuan's licking temperament, he must have shamelessly licked Anna Shen, and then the innocent Anna Shen was licked just like that. He believed that the plot he imagined was extremely close to reality. In his story, after catching up with Anna Shen, Li Yuan quickly lost his sense of freshness and set his sights on Tong Suifei. Then he used the same method of chasing Anna Shen to chase Tong Suifei. It's a pity that Tong Sui is not as easy to deceive as Anna Shen. This also proves how innocent Anna Shen is. That scumbag Li Yuan is worse than a beast. Anna Shen obviously suffered such great injustice, but she was unwilling to stand up and destroy Li Yuan's reputation. She even watched helplessly as Li Yuan became Tong Sui's licking dog, and did not come forward to explain the truth. Now, let him be the sword bearer. Click to send. The post appeared in the campus forum instantly. Turning off the computer in the computer room, he clapped his hands and said, "Let's go back to eat." Chen Qi said, "If you do this, will nothing happen?" Gu Dongsheng said matter-of-factly, "The IP address belongs to the school computer room, and the account number belongs to a graduated senior who I found in the student union archives. What can happen?" Damn. Is this what I said? What I said is, are you sure you won't be beaten to death by Lao Li? Gu Dongsheng waved his hand, I can't control that much. My education does not allow me to stand by and watch such things happen. Otherwise, I will take half of the blame for you. You will also help me do what you promised me before. What's up? Introduce Tian Tian to me. Why are you always staring at her? Gu Dongsheng felt something was wrong with Chen Qi. Seems very persistent in poaching others. Tian Tian already has a boyfriend. I'm telling you, if you have treacherous intentions, you will have no friends around you. He reminded Chen Qi again. Who dares to get close to someone with this kind of personality? The two of them had already walked out of the computer room and faced the scorching sun outside. Chen Qi sighed. Do you want to hear my story? Sister, I didn't see Dabai today. You can hold it and take a picture for me to see. I'm still a little used to not seeing it. Okay. Li Yuan looked at Xu Yanlin's reply and showed a fatherly smile. He saw his own shadow in Xu Yanlin. Xu Yanlin is a cat's licker, so even if she feels she has some bad intentions, she will endure it. In his last life, when he was a sophomore in college, he also realized that Tong Sui would never give him a chance, but he still licked it without hesitation. On the one hand, it is a lot of investment, and it would be a pity to throw it away. On the other hand, Tong Sui is very good at controlling things. Whenever he has the idea of retreating, Tong Sui will just give him some hope. Soon, a photo was sent. Li Yuan took a look and found that the white cat occupied more than 2/3 of the entire photo. So he quickly said, Sister, it doesn't look good when you take pictures like this. The lens should be a little farther away. The cat itself has certain flaws. If you zoom out, the flaws on the cat can be blurred. Okay, senior. Soon, Xu Yanlin sent another photo. This time there is only one cat in the photo. Although the camera is far away, there is no focus point. Sister, you have to hold Dabai. Haven't you noticed that Dabai looks very panicked now? He likes to be held by others. In this case, he will feel more secure. Xu Yanlin was silent for a while before replying, Senior, do you really want to see the cat? Of course, in my eyes, only cats will automatically ignore everything around them. Otherwise, how could I have paid attention to so many details about cats just now? Okay then, I'll take the picture for the senior. 2 minutes later, another photo of Xu Yanlin was sent over. On the sofa, a porcelain doll girl lowered her head shyly. Her fair skin seemed to be overexposed, but the real colors of other things around her proved that there was nothing wrong with the photo. Wearing a pink suspender skirt, holding a cat in her arms, curled up on the sofa with bare feet. This cat is so big. Li Yuan originally wanted to post it, but then thought about it and deleted it. This cat is so white. Deleted again. My family, Dabai, is enjoying the blessings of following you. Send. Hey, senior, I'm a little embarrassed. The weather is too hot, so I didn't wear much. Is there any? I just paid attention to the cat, Now take a good look. Li Yuan enlarged the photo and found, it seemed to be quite few. Originally this was just an ordinary photo, but I searched a lot on the internet. But after noticing the details, he silently clicked save. First download the original image. Just after it was done, Li Yuan discovered that the photo had been withdrawn. Such a clever operation was definitely not done by Xu Yanlin. Immediately afterwards, he received a voice note. Opening it, an angry voice appeared inside the dormitory. Li Yuan, what's your ability to bully a high school student? You've been plotting for so long and you've used all kinds of dirty tricks. Don't you just want to get close to me? Are you so confident in yourself? Li Yuan frowned when he heard Anna Shen's voice. When we met before, she didn't seem so sharp. Sister, I think you are more confident, right? Besides, I don't need to use any dirty tricks. I've always been upright. Who do you call eldest sister?